the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Chief of Staff Armed Forces of the Philippines orders troops readiness for the upcoming Balikatan exercises. Philippines deploys a second batch of BIAHC to Myanmar. DPWH assesses over 21,000 public buildings for earthquake resilience. OCD says private sector needed in disaster preparations for the big one.
in the conduct of this year's Balikatan exercises. According to the schedule issued by the Combined Joint Information Bureau for the Balikatan exercises 2025, some of the activities are expected to be conducted in the NOLCOM's area of operation. Meanwhile, this year's 40th iteration of Balikatan exercise will run until May 9, 2025.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Ang DWDD 1134 kHz AFP Radio ay ang opisyal na radio station ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas na binubuo ng Army, Navy at Air Force na siyang maghahatid sa inyo ng mga balita mula sa ating Armed Forces at iba pang impormasyon. Mga katropa, hanapin at ilike kami sa Facebook, Twitter at YouTube. DWDD AFP Radio, ang boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
What is a soldier? You see them in the news. You see them in video games, in TV, movies, the internet. We see the action, amaze at the equipment, in awe of the skills. But what is a soldier? What lies behind the guns, the bullets, the gear? An ordinary human being. Just like you, an ordinary person that will.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Chief of Staff Armed Forces of the Philippines orders troops readiness for the upcoming Balikatan exercises. Philippines deploys a second batch of BIAHC to Myanmar. DPWH assesses over 21,000 public buildings for earthquake resilience. OCD says private sector needed in disaster preparations for the big one.
Good day everyone, as well as our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Today is Thursday, April 3, and we will bring you the latest news from the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. In behalf of Rob Suzon, this is Jai Simbahon for AFP Community News.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., ordered the troops' readiness for the upcoming Balikatan Exercises 2025 on April 21. In his speech during the Northern Luzon Command's anniversary celebration, General Browner said that the AFP and the U.S. are now testing all the plans, doctrines, and procedures that were developed in the past years and will be tested in the conduct of this year's Balikatan exercises. According to the schedule issued by the Combined Joint Information Bureau for the Balikatan Exercises 2025, some of the activities are expected to be conducted in NOLCOM's area of operation. Meanwhile, this year's 40th iteration of Balikatan exercise will run until May 9, 2025.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Philippines deployed its second batch of the Philippine Interagency Humanitarian Contingent, which departed at the Villamor Air Base in Pasay City to Myanmar. The recovery efforts will provide immediate assistance to the victims of the magnitude 7.7 earthquake in the said country last March 28, killing at least 2,700 people and injuring over 4,000 others, while hundreds remained missing. The second batch of the PIAHC is comprised of 47 personnel from the Philippine Air Force, Bureau of Fire Protection, Department of Health, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, and Office of the Civil Defense. Meanwhile, the two batches will be deployed to Myanmar for 2 weeks to perform life-saving operations, provide medical assistance to the victims, and deliver critical aid throughout the mission.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
For other updates, let us hear the details about Southern Luzon Command conducts RF JTEX in 203rd Infantry Brigade. Go on for the details, Shaira.
Yes, good afternoon, Jai. The Southern Luzon Command conducted Reserve Force Joint Training Exercise led by the 203rd Infantry Bantay Kapayapaan Brigade held at 203rd Brigade Headquarters at Barangay Pag-asa, Bansud Oriental, Mindoro. The said exercise was participated by more than 429 participants from different units of community defense centers, ready to serve infantry battalions of the Philippine Army, Philippine Navy, and the Philippine Air Force. Included also in the 3-day training were the personnel from the disaster response units from the provincial government of Oriental Mindoro. The activity aims to strengthen the Reserve Forces' readiness in territorial defense operations, disaster response, and improve coordination in internal and external security of our country. Meanwhile, Deputy Chief of Staff for Reservist and Retiree Affairs, J9, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Major General Joel Alejandro S. Naknak, stressed the critical role of continuous training and ensuring that the Reserve Force is always ready to maintain national security and respond effectively to disasters and crises. This is Shai Rivera reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaira.
DWDD Armed Forces
And the first batch of the Philippine Interagency Humanitarian Contingent arrived in Myanmar for its humanitarian effort to the victims of the magnitude 7.7 earthquake that killed 2,700 people, injuring over 4,000 others. The humanitarian team is set to stay in the said country for 18 days to deliver health services to the victims. The PIAHC is composed of volunteers from the Philippine Air Force, Philippine Army, Bureau of Fire Protection, Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, and coordinators from the Office of the Civil Defense. Meanwhile, the PAHC will also offer logistics and operations, aircraft security, aeromedical personnel, isolation facilities, and medical referrals as needed.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And Chief of Staff Armed Forces of the Philippines, General Romeo S. Browner Jr., welcomed Chief of the Defense Staff of the Canadian Armed Forces, General Marie Annabelle Jenny Kerenian, during her courtesy visit yesterday at the AFP's General Headquarters. Both leaders reaffirmed their shared commitment to regional peace and security, highlighting the significance of mutual support in joint operations and training programs. The CSAFP also expressed appreciation for Canada's assistance in bolstering the AFP's capabilities. Meanwhile, the visit emphasized the AFP's efforts to strengthen its defense ties with foreign counterparts and like-minded nations.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Gina about 4th Special Forces Battalion distributes new set of uniforms to CAFGUs in Isabela City. Gina?
Yes, Jai, the 4th Special Forces Battalion visited multiple patrol bases to distribute new uniforms to the CAFGO active auxiliaries in Isabela City. The 4th SFBN visited Kumalarang Patrol Base, Busay Patrol Base, and Baluno Patrol Base. During the engagement, 4 SFBN Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Adolf Ian M. Garceron, Infantry GSC Philippine Army, highlighted the importance of vigilance, discipline, and unity among personnel in securing their respective areas of responsibility. Meanwhile, the distribution of new uniforms serves as a symbol of the Army's unwavering support to its auxiliary forces, ensuring that they remain well equipped and motivated in carrying out their mission. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, in an interview said that the force will deploy its new assets to the West Philippine Sea and Northern Luzon. According to Rear Admiral Trinidad, the deployment of the naval assets in western and northern part of the country aims to strengthen the country's maritime presence in the strategic area. The said effort is also part of the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept that serves as a guide to the armed forces of the Philippines. Meanwhile, the Philippine Navy is expecting the 2 guided missile corvette from South Korea this April.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For our national news,
DWDD National News.
the Department of Transportation has asserted the necessity of the fare adjustment of the LRT-1 that took effect yesterday. The DOTR emphasized that the adjustment is essential for sustaining LRT-1's operations and financing its long-term expansion. They explained that it is critical to maintain the efficiency and ensure the timely completion of its extension to Cavite. The rail line's extension is expected to ease congestion and provide a faster commuting option for thousands of passengers traveling between Metro Manila and Cavite.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear a report on the ground about Bawan, Batangas received stable internal peace and security seal at 59th Infantry Battalion's headquarters. Going for the details, Sena.
The town of Bawan, Batangas was once again formally awarded the Stable Internal Peace and Security Seal and Certificate of Conferment by the 59th Infantry Battalion during the first quarter Municipal Peace and Order Council meeting. The Sangguniang Bayan of Bawan is led by Honorable Vice Mayor Ronald E. Cruzat, as well as the police, BFP, and various agencies in the town of Bawan. Welcome the award. Stable Internal Peace and Security, or SIPS, is the highest level of peace status of an area where there is no violence reported from the CPP and PA terrorists. The awarding of the SIPS seal is in recognition of the unwavering dedication of the local government of Bawan in their efforts and unity to maintain security in the area towards a more prosperous future not only in the town of Bawan but also in the entire country. This is Sena from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Sena.
DWDD National News.
Commission on Elections Chairman George Erwin Garcia said senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and pregnant women will be allowed to vote between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. in all precincts on May 12. However, he clarified that this was not required but a choice. Polling centers will still open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. The option given to the special groups was for them to avoid crowds and for convenience. A priority polling place would also be set up for the elderly and PWDs on the ground floor.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Public Works and Highways has completed structural assessments of more than 21,000 public buildings nationwide. This is to determine their capacity to withstand major earthquakes. DPWH Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral said the assessment identified numerous structures in need of retrofitting. She highlighted the importance of reinforcing structures such as schools and health facilities to ensure they can endure strong earthquakes, including the anticipated the big one in Metro Manila.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
From Samar, let us hear more updates from Leonor about 63rd Infantry Battalion participates in Career Day Symposium for Senior High School. Leonor?
The 63rd Infantry Innovator Battalion participated in Career Day Symposium for senior high school students at two schools in Basi, Samar. The said event held at Valeriano Yanka Memorial Agricultural School and Basi National High School provided an opportunity for students to learn about various career paths including military service. The event also witnessed the participation of various national and local agencies, is providing valuable information to students to guide them in their career decision making. Meanwhile, the participation of 63rd Infantry Battalion underscores the dedication of the Philippine Army to engage with local communities, particularly the youth, to provide education and guidance on career pathways. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD National News.
And the government has consistently tapped the private sector to ensure full preparedness for the big one. The big one is a 7.2 magnitude earthquake or stronger, which is feared to hit the country. Office of the Civil Defense Administrator Ariel Nepomuceno said that while public participation has been leveled up, the government is institutionalizing partnerships with the private sector. He explained that this is the norm worldwide. The government, private sector, and civil society will have to work hand in hand with regard to huge incidents.
DWDD National News.
And Malacanang called on Filipinos in Taiwan to stay put as it sought to allay public concerns over the possible invasion of Taiwan by China. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro assured the public that the government has contingency plans in place, saying that Manila would always be ready to respond. She also said that the government was ready to repatriate about 250,000 Filipinos in Taiwan should the situation escalate. Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief Romeo Browner Jr. recently urged the military personnel to prepare for potential spillover effects if Taiwan faces an invasion.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And we have a report coming in from Joanne about West Philippine Sea Gallery exhibit successfully launched in Region 2. Joanne?
To promote awareness about the importance of the West Philippine Sea, a gallery exhibit was successfully launched in 3 major malls in Region 2 last March. The exhibit aimed to educate Filipinos about the country's maritime wealth and sovereignty. The exhibit was displayed in SM City Kawayan, North Star Mall in Ilagan City, and SM Downtown in Tuguegarao City. It featured interactive displays about maritime laws, the histories of territorial claims, and the significance of the West Philippine Sea to the country. The public warmly received the exhibit, demonstrating the growing interest and concern of Filipinos in protecting the country's marine resources. Many attendees expressed gratitude for the detailed information shared and committed to continue advocating for education and awareness. The 5th Infantry Division Philippine Army reaffirmed its commitment to providing accurate information and promoting national awareness about the West Philippine Sea. Through such initiatives, the division aims to strengthen patriotism and national unity in defending the country's sovereignty. This is John Sagao reporting from Northern Luzon Command for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD National News.
And Palace Press Officer Claire Castro assured China that the Philippine government was not targeting any nationality. This came after Beijing warned its citizens in the country against possible harassment from local authorities. Castro said that all foreign nationals were welcome in the Philippines except those involved in illegal activities. She added that the travel advisory might be linked to the government's crackdown on Philippine offshore gaming operators, where many Chinese have been linked.
DWDD National News.
And Department of Education Secretary Sonny Angara highlighted the collective responsibility of the Marcos administration, private institution, and the church in addressing the country's education challenges. Angara earlier compared the state of Philippine education to the biblical story of the multiplication of loaves and fish, emphasizing the dedication of teachers, community involvement, and ongoing reforms as source of hope. Meanwhile, Angara also reaffirmed DepEd's commitment to systematic reforms, particularly through its 5-point reform agenda. The DepEd chief explained plans to enhance teachers' career growth, elevate thousands of principal positions, and provide them with support staff, allowing them to focus on teaching.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
More updates about Marine Battalion Landing Team 10 secures area for the effective execution of COMELEC's Oplan Baklas in Cagayan. Go ahead for the details, Meljoy.
Yes, Jai Marine Battalion Landing Team 10 provided security assistance in support of the Commission on Elections Oplan Baklas operations conducted across various municipalities within the area of Cagayan. In view of the mandate to assist law enforcement agencies in maintaining a secure and orderly electoral process, Marine Battalion Landing Team 10 deployed personnel to establish area security, while Commission on Elections, in coordination with various law enforcement units, executed the removal of unauthorized campaign materials. The operation was conducted in strict compliance with existing election laws and regulations to ensure adherence to the Fair Election Act. Marine Battalion Landing Team 10 remains steadfast in its commitment to supporting government initiatives that safeguard the integrity of electoral process while ensuring peace, security, and stability within the region. This is Maldre Nesho Arroco reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy.
DWDD National News.
Overseas scam hub operators are not only trafficking Filipino workers, but also targeting unsuspecting US-based Filipino migrants by persuading them to invest in fraudulent cryptocurrency accounts. Bureau of Immigration Commissioner Joel Anthony Viado raised the alarm following a disclosure from Filipino trafficking victims repatriated from Myanmar that Filipinos in the United States were now among the targets of the scammers. Viado said this is the new trend in scam hub operations. He added that scammers employ various tactics, including contacting PhilAms via social media messages to lure investors. Once the victims transfer their money, the scammers may manipulate account balances to show fake profits, convincing them to invest even more until the fraudsters disappear with the funds.
DWDD National News.
And the immunization rate in the Philippines is only 64.47%, far from the 95% target needed to reach herd immunity. In a forum organized by the Department of Health, Dr. Annalyn Reyes, board member of the Pediatric Infectious Disease Society of the Philippines, pointed out that the need for access and prioritization to curb vaccine hesitancy in the country. She emphasized that there should be trust in the government and healthcare providers, and vaccines must be accessible. Vaccine hesitancy continues to be a major issue in the Philippines as concerns about efficacy, safety, and cultural beliefs prevent people from getting vaccinated.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Angel about 68 Infantry Battalion conducts ugnayan sa Katutubo in Occidental Mindoro. Angel?
Yes, Jai, the 68th Infantry Kaagapay Battalion of the Philippine Army conducted ugnayan sa Katutubo at the Sitio Upper Pusog, Barangay Ligaya, Sablayan, Occidental, Mindoro. The Kaagapay troopers handed over slippers, clothes, and porridge to the students and residents of Sitio Upper Pusog. In his message, 68 IB Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Rino Guda stressed that everyone should stay on track in embracing and maintaining peace and solidarity against the counterinsurgency brought by the CPP, NPA, and DF. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Colonel Guda underscored the commitment of the 68 IB and the Philippine Army not only to perform its mandate to serve the people and secure the land, but also to provide services, especially those under the geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. This is Angel Cruz Camamot reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Angel. And now let us hear more from JR about 701st Infantry Brigade benefit from 10th Infantry Division's CARE program. JR?
The 701st Infantry Brigade participated in the 10th Infantry Division's CARE program held at the 10th Infantry Division Chaplain at Headquarters 701st Brigade, Sitio Magay, Barangay Don Martin, Marundan, Mati City, Davao de Oriental. Along with 701st Infantry Brigade were troops from 66 Infantry Kabalikat Battalion, 67 Infantry Aguila Battalion, and 1003rd Division Reconnaissance Company. The said initiative also emphasizes the significance of holistic well-being for soldiers, addressing both psychological and spiritual aspects to enhance their overall mental health. Meanwhile, the session provided personnel with tools to navigate stress, build stronger mental frameworks, and reinforce their commitment to duty. This is J.R. Natividad reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, JR.
DWDD National News.
And for our final news, operatives of the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group arrested a Russian-American internet content creator who was accused of harassing Filipinos at the Bonifacio Global City in Taguig City. CIDG Director Major General Nicolas Torre III said 34-years-old vlogger Vitaly Zorevetsky was collared at the Seaside Boulevard in Pasay City based on